Afternoon all. We just come off it, now going to go off in my father's boat to get the low water, shoot the herring nets over the side. But a little bit of wind and a little bit of northerly roll in the water, but it's not too bad. But the sun's lovely, isn't it? Bit of sun on you, change the whole day. Cracking. Let's hope we get a bit of fish. It's been a bit poor lately. Last 3 trips I've been doing, had nothing. Let's hope we get a few more fish this time. Well, now getting ready to launch. Few good swells coming in here. Just waiting for a few of the better ones to come past. I'm a squashy old chap after all. I don't think you'd like that. Too much for what? Bloody launch though, it's late for that.
Is it too much swell?
Well, so we've already launched now, it's a bit late for that. Ready? Engine's all running, and she's away. There's a bit of swell on the beach to be launched. I don't think it's too bad at the minute, it's just when the tide changes and the flood come through, that'll lift over the banks and then there might be more swell. But can't worry about it. There's quite a few anglers on the beach fishing. I don't know what they're getting, probably whitings, but there's a little bit of weed on the high water mark, but it ain't as bad as what it has been. Look at here, there's quite a few gold speeding about. So they're on sprats or something, but they won't be feeding on herring. Well, as we're getting towards Yarmouth, there look like tons of weed on the high tide marker on here, so any anglers coming this way be a bit wary. There isn't so many anglers, there's a few anglers at Caister, but nothing like Yarmouth. There's a lot of weed along the high tide mark here, so a few anglers what have been, got a belly full of weed, what we know ain't enjoyable, and then packed in. Once you get round to Yarmouth, you're more sheltered from Scrooby, so all that roll in the water's disappeared. Bit of wind on the surface, but All the swell in the water's gone. Bloody lovely now, isn't it? Just how you want it. Well, they're all shot away. Today we put 20 monos, heron net monos over. Don't know where you can see it. Just see the floats. We haven't put it down on this outside end because we're just tied it off for a tizzard, and that's on the front of the boats. That's a westerly winds. We're just laying off the gear. Hopefully we'll get a few more heron today. If you don't get any heron in 20 monos, you're doing something wrong. But we ain't had no heron the last 3 trips, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that change a bit. But doesn't look a lot of fish coming through. Look a bit poor of them heron are buggered off outside. And again, one of the boats didn't get a lot of fish outside in the deeper water the other day. So I don't know if they're now gone to spawn at the time they spawn. As we were steaming along, I saw an angler reel in. He had tons of weed all up his gear. Looked bloody dreadful. I felt sorry for him a bit. I did think I'd go and fishing with the rods myself, but getting that much gear, I don't think I'll bother. You always know when you've got a big fleet of gear out, because there's the old sewer boy off Yarmouth. That's 3/4 of a mile off Yarmouth from getting that far inside it. That looked further away than what it is on the camera. But you can see, if you look at the buoy compared to the wind turbine, we're racing along. It's a strong tide today. We're doing, I don't know what speed we're doing, I'll have to have a look, but we're doing it excess of 2 knots, I imagine. You can see it racing along. It really is giving it some today, the tide. I don't think you can see it very well on the videos, but there's a good northerly swell rolling in here, and that's on the ebb. Normally on the ebb you don't get hardly any swell here because that's dropped below the banks. So we can't mess around. We've got to haul this gear at low water, get it in ASAP, because as soon as the tides start flooding, that'll get above the banks. That'll be lumpy as hell on the beach. And obviously, because we've got a bit of nets in the boat and they're heavy, you sort of dig in the beach, you don't ride it very well. So yeah, we better pull our finger out when we come ashore. We're going to get pummeled on the beach and fill up with water. There's the old burnt wind turbine there. You can see that one there. It's all burnt and crusty. That's been like it for a few months now. I don't think they're going to replace that. I think that's it. They just leave it knackered until they rip them all out in a few years, I imagine. They've been there like 20 years in wind turbines, so I think that's getting near the end of their life. But that one definitely ain't getting replaced, that's for certain. Yeah, only got about 20 minutes to the tide and we're still running along like 1.9, 2 knots. I think showing a lot of fish there. There's a lot of surface clutter. I don't know why, we always seem to get a lot of surface clutter on this Lawrence unit. On my Hummingbird unit you don't. But if you turn down the gain and everything to get rid of that surface clutter, that'd get rid of all the fish in the water too. I've never been able to get that quite right set up, but there you go. It's got several different functions to turning down the surface clutter. Whatever you want, you put it on and then turn down the gain, you lose all the heron. So I've always had to put up that surface clutter. There's a few fish there, but it doesn't look a lot, do there? Not like there was on the other day, on Friday when I come in my boat. There's a lot more fish showing. Well, we've got about another 20 minutes of tide to go, but the old chap is just having a look on the end, pulling with all his bite. Tangled up on that end now, isn't it?
It's only so put some tension on.
There's a problem that tizzard rope is twisted, so when you put tension on it, that spin up. That's why we always put braided rope on the nets, because you can pull on braided rope as much as you like and that'll be alright, but if you pull on twisted, that twists the gear up. We've been looking a lot of fish there, is there? It's been very disappointing. Oh, he's actually caught up. It's caught up on a bit of line there on the knot where the tizzard is tied to the gear. I thought there might be 1 or 2 fish in the gill. There weren't a lot. Well, as that end was tangled up, we just hauled half a net so you can see a good view of what's in them. And there was 2 pin whiting. See the old man just shooting them. They're blown off the wind and just put them back over the side and making sure that nothing's tangled. You see them long strops for sunk gear, they do tangle a bit, so he's just feathering them back over the side nicely. Got 2 whiting in half a net. That doesn't look good, do it? Well, it's now time to haul, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot in them. Whiting right in the gill. That might be a whiting fest. All really plump, but there's no size to them. First Darren.
Yarmouth, Saviour, again, just for your information, that's finished. This truck will go. That's no copy, thank you.
Whiten are all really plump and fat. Obviously been feeding on sprats, but the length and the size of the ones what were earlier in the season. The ones in October and November are cracking size whitens. You got poor old little pins like this. Another old white. What's that? Is that a heron? About time. Heron. And another one. Just need another few thousand more and we'll be alright. Ain't got a lot of roll in the heron, have we? Well, I'll start to spawn already, have he? This is a better one. Nice flat top heron. We've even got a box out. That tells you something, doesn't it? At this rate, all we need is a sandwich box. Another little old heron. Look at this, we'd have caught just as much fishing on the beach. The herons seem to be thinning out now. These nice prime ones, what they were. You always find that if you ain't getting many heron, they seem to be all the drips and drabs, none of the quality stuff. Not a little old white heron. If there's a hole in your gear, them flukes always find it. Every time. A little bit of rain coming. I got a hauler on my boat and he keeps saying he's to buy one, but he can't find the one he wants. A lot of haulers got pinch rollers what squash the fish. When you got a high volume like you do with herring, they'll squash your herring what you don't want. With bottom gear we ain't got that much fish there, right? But trying to find a little conveyor hauler in good condition is quite rare. They fell out of favour really. But a brand new conveyor hauler is about £6 grand. Well, you catch a lot of herring to pay for that, didn't you? Luckily I got mine second hand a few years ago. I think I went down Clacton and bought it. That wasn't a lot of money. I think I owe about 700 quid. Well, that's a cheap investment on a hauler for 700 quid. There's a lot of difference between 700 quid and £6 grand, isn't there? You can warrant 700 quid, but you can't warrant £6 grand for what we do here. pack of whitings. They're so plump, obviously feeding on sprats. Bottom of gear. That's good. Time to put the other 2-inch nets in there. What the hell? These are small, aren't they? Whiten and more whiten. There's quite a few gulls around. This is when seals eat the herring out of the nets. There's all bits float up in the water and they get all the bits. That's why there's all the gulls here. Bones out, put in a bit of egg and then flour, wasn't it? Just a whiting fest, isn't it? Oh, look at that weed. Closer into horrendous marrow grass that tangled up my gun in the gear. Well, I'm just going to stop you there because same old thing. If there's any fish turn up, I'll video more, but just picking a few whiting out and the odd herring ain't very good, is it? Well, that's a poor old show, isn't it? A few herring and a few whiting. That's 4 trips on the trot, we ain't had a lot. I don't know what them herring are. Unbelievable, isn't it? Mystery where they disappeared to. Well, as predicted, there's a bit of swell starting to make on the beach now. We knew that would happen. That was a given. Always going to happen. If there's swell on the ebb, as soon as that tide turn, that make on the beach. But for any anglers out there, be careful. Look at all that weed on the high water mark. That's just a bloody weed pit at the minute, isn't it? As far as the eye can see, weed, weed and more weed. And that was that for another trip. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Shame we had no fish the last 3 or 4 trips. It's been a bloody nightmare, innit? I never known a herring to disappear this early. Normally after Christmas that go a bit lean, but never before Christmas. Well, I think we beat the rain anyway, and the wind. So I'll catch you all later. Thank you for watching. Ta-da, bye.